Welcome back, guys. Well, let me tell you, I got a good one for y'all. It's now currently Tuesday morning, about 7:30. We left Saturday on vacation. Went down to North Carolina, stopped in Spencer, went to the North Carolina Transportation Museum. Sunday morning, got up, rode on down to Carolina Beach. Just broke the drive. It's about 8 hours from here to the beach down there. So we broke it up 4 hours one day, 4 hours the next day. Anyway, started having some vehicle problems. I started noticing about 12 miles out, up and around Wilmington, I started hearing a whining sound coming from her van. And I tried not to really pay a whole lot of attention to it, even though, you couldn't not listen to it and hear it. And she was napping, and when she woke up, she asked me, she said, "What's that sound?" I said, "I'm not sure." I said, "It sounds like your transmission." Well, we come to a stoplight, and when I stopped and took back off, we had that whine to it, and then it felt like it wasn't accelerating like it should, like the transmission was slipping. Anyway, but it took off and shifted and went on down the road. And then we come up to another red light right before we pulled into the hotel, and it actually, when I went to take off, it did not shift all the way down into first gear, and I had to make it shift, run the RPMs up, and then it jerked real hard down in the gear and took off. And then we turned down this back street, and when it downshifted making the other turn, it kicked out of gear, went in neutral. The transmission was still in drive, but it went into neutral, and the RPM shot up real high. And when I took my foot off the accelerator, when the RPMs fell back down, then it dropped back in the gear and took off. So now, mind you, this is on Sunday, July 2nd, and nothing was open. Couldn't do anything about it. So I waited till Monday morning, got back in the van, tried to drive within a mile and a half of the hotel to a local repair shop down there. Neither one of them was open, and they were going to be closed Monday and Tuesday for the 4th. So it would have been Wednesday maybe to get the vehicle in to get it checked out. Ended up calling, I actually didn't call. I talked to a friend of mine who knows a service manager at the Chrysler dealer in Wilmington, or around Wilmington. I can't remember what the name of it was, but anyway, he was going to see about trying to get us in, but it was going to be like Friday, July 4th week. They got guys off work. They're short-handed. There's other people having vehicle problems on vacation travels, so it wasn't looking good. But he recommended that, he said that was a common problem on that particular transmission. Now, we have a 2015 Chrysler Town & Country minivan. I can't remember the model of that transmission, but it's used in a lot of different vehicles. And from what I read after we experienced all this, most of them have this transmission failure around 100,000 miles. We just rolled over 100,000 on this trip. It's sitting down there in North Carolina in the parking lot with like 100,300 and some miles on it. So anyway, there was recalls on it. Some of them were covered, some of them weren't. Even though they all had the same transmission and all that, certain models they didn't put forth a recall on. It's the transmission pump is what it is. But according to what I've read and what my friend who's a Chrysler mechanic told me, he said it's typically it's never just the pump. He said it starts with the torque converter, and then you have like clutch fragment and stuff like that goes through and stops the transmission filter up, and then it makes its way into the pump and it eats the seals up and so on and so forth. And then the pump gets to where it can't hold hydraulic pressure for your transmission to function properly. So anyway, couldn't find nobody couldn't rent a truck, couldn't get a tow dolly. Finally found a car. My mother-in-law did, and so we rented a Dodge Charger, and come back home last night, just me and her. And that's because they wouldn't do a one-way trip with a rental car. We have to take this rental car back to North Carolina, so she had to come with me. And so that's why we're here with the truck, the trailer, and there is the rental car. It gets pretty good gas mileage too. Got about 28 miles a gallon coming back home in that thing. It ain't bad running 80 miles an hour on 77. But anyway, it's gonna be interesting. Got an 8-hour drive ahead of us. Hopefully we don't have any issues with this going down. I've just aired the tires up, greased everything. I think we're good to go. I've threw some tools together to take with us just in case. I gotta stop and buy a spare because I don't have a spare for this trailer. Something I've just put off and never gotten one, but we'll be getting one today. So wish us luck. Maybe I'll see you on the road again or when we get down there. Okay, so basically I'm just trying to get the chain binders around on the van right here. Now I did not record loading this van up. I wished I would have, but you know, I had Lindsay to get in the van and try to get it backed up on the trailer. That way I could watch everything as far as the ramps and where her tires were going and all that stuff. And it was kind of nerve-wracking, especially for her, because you know, the transmission didn't want to cooperate. And when she started up on the trailer and, you know, she'd stop to try to readjust, then it would kick out of gear and wouldn't go. But if you run the RPMs up, it'd all of a sudden catch and grab and try to take off. And she was scared to death. She was going to run it off the trailer and into the back of the truck. And it was a mess. But, hey, she did good. She got it on there. So hats off to her. And we didn't have any problem with the truck or the trailer on the way down anyhow. So chains in my daggone way now.
So you need to put my hand down there?
No, I gotta redo it.
I'm gonna redo it.
Flip this thing around, buddy.
The handle's on the inside.
Like this, and get the chain where it's over there, instead on this side of it. Just click on it. There you go. Problem the angle here on that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you try to tighten it up in here in this area, would that give you more room? Whereas the
But I don't know how to get it over there.
like that.
Maybe.
these.
Oh yeah, I know. Watching that all the time. Driving down here.
Now we're cooking, ain't we?
Might be alright. I can see that.
That's crazy. This side isn't even, you know, attached, and it's still tight over here.
Yeah.
But that's the way it's supposed to work, right?
Yeah. Hopefully it won't slide around. Now we'll try to get on that side.
Success.
Okay, I actually ended up reconfiguring this about 3 different times the way I was trying to hook it up. I come to find out it's a little different trying to hook a vehicle up with chains and binders than a piece of equipment, just because you got to be conscious of brake lines and wiring and stuff like that. You can't just throw the chain around it and go with it. You got to watch what you're hooking to. But I actually ended up, there was a guy and his family that was on vacation, was walking by, and they stopped and asked what was going on, and I got to talking to him, and he helped me out because he does like hot shot delivery service hauling vehicles, and he jumped right in there and showed me, you know, how to hook everything up the best way. And they were from out of Ohio somewhere, but yeah, they helped me out, and just nice people, just trying to help out. So that's what they ended up going with. By the time I got all this said and done on tying the van down. Well, we made it back. It's Saturday morning. Made it back last night, actually. You know, I went down Tuesday. We got the van loaded up, and I just went ahead and, you know, we had to find a place to park the van and the trailer and the truck. We had the rental car, and we finished the week up down there trying to enjoy the rest of our vacation. So I got up Monday morning and drove. There was 2 local shops there at the beach, all within like a mile and a half of our hotel. And I got up and drove the van down to these shops. 4th of July week, both shops were closed, and we're going to be closed at least until the 5th. So that would have put us up to Wednesday before I'd ever been able to gotten this van into a shop to, if nothing else, just have it diagnosed, you know, professionally checked or whatever you want to call it. But from everything that I was reading, watched some videos and stuff like that, you know, I pretty well self-diagnosed what was wrong with it, between what the symptoms it was doing, the sound it was making. And mind you, now there's no check engine light or nothing's on this van. Nothing. No check engine lights, anything. Jump in it, start it up. It looks perfect on the dash. Put it in gear. You'll hear it start whining. And, you know, it doesn't want to go. It's just sounds like a hydraulic pump whining for oil is what it sounds like. Like they never got it on the trailer. That was, I wished I'd have videoed that, because, you know, I put Lindsay in it to back it up onto the trailer when we got down to the beach with it. And I was standing here to watch, you know, the wheels and everything, make sure everything going on there good. And when you got it on an angle, it wouldn't go. It just rev up, and you'd have to like goose it and get the RPMs to come up and like pick a little bit of oil up and try to go a little bit. And she was a nervous wreck. It was kind of funny, but she got it, you know. But yeah, I didn't have no problems coming home. You know, that was probably the farthest I've pulled a trailer. It was an 8-hour ride, 500 some miles, or well, right at 500 miles. You know, I've hauled tractors and stuff like that. It's the first time I ever hauled a vehicle, but didn't have any problems with anything at all. Now, it was aggravating, you know, having to get a rental car, come all the way back to West Virginia, get the truck, get the trailer, go all the way back to the beach, load all this up, and then had to find a place to park it because they the hotel we stayed at. Now they were pretty helpful at first to a certain degree. I mean, you know, when we first pulled in there, we told them we was having car problems, and they looked up and found us a couple places to check with. Of course, they were closed, and they ended up not being able to help anyway. So, but they wouldn't let us park this truck and trailer with the van on it at the hotel and take up a parking spot with our rental car. Now, the rental car, we had it till Friday, you know, but my intentions was to park trailer with van in a parking spot. They wouldn't let us do that. Well then, okay, out from the hotel on the street, there was actually city parking where you could pay to park, you know, pay like $25 per day for a parking spot. So I was going to do that. So this is what we got, 2015 Chrysler Town & Country. It's a great van, perfect for the wife and the kids. And like I said, we drove down to North Carolina last Saturday. And we stayed around in Spencer. We done a couple things there, and then Sunday morning we got up and drove on down to the beach, down to Carolina Beach. And when we got we was almost to the hotel, several miles out, I was noticed, you know, it was making a whining sound. Couldn't exactly tell what it was until a few red lights later. You know, I felt the transmission downshift real hard. And then when I was pulling into the hotel, coming around one of the back streets, it actually kicked into neutral. You know, and the RPMs went up real high. And when I let off of it, it caught gear again, just enough to go down the street and turn into the parking lot at the hotel. And we parked it. So it made it all the way to the hotel, and then that was the end of it. But then, so I had Lindsay to call and check on doing that, because I thought, well, we could just rent the spot, park the truck, trailer there, take the rental car back, and we'll have the truck to drive around in on the rest of the week. Called the city, talked to them. They said, no, you can't leave a trailer sitting in a parking spot without a vehicle attached to it, like hooked to it. He said they considered it abandoned property and they would tow it. So what I ended up having to do was I had to go to the marina where all the boats and stuff are down there. I can't remember the name of the marina, but anyway, I had to go down there, and there they have a big old parking lot, and you can park, you know, trucks and trailers and boats, you know, on the trailers, whatever, down there. And then they had one side of it was oversized vehicle parking. So ended up having to park there. I think it was $25, $27 for 24 hours. But it was back in, you backed into the spot, and it had a QR code. You scanned it, done it with your phone right there, paid for it, and you had to pay every 24 hours. They'd send you a text, let you know, hey, you know, your time's getting ready to expire. You need to give them more money or whatever. But it was under, you know, there was surveillance cameras there. It was half a mile from the hotel. It wasn't the best thing, you know. I didn't like having to leave my truck and the trailer and everything sitting a half-mile away down there where I couldn't see it. But it is what it is. We just got up every morning and walked down there, got us a cup of coffee, walked down, check on the truck, and walked back. So it all worked out in the end. But that was really the only thing I could do. And it kind of sucked, you know, the circumstances and everything. But here we are. It's Saturday, like I said. We're back home. We've made it. Everybody's safe. No problems coming home. Trailer and truck done perfect. Just got to wait till Monday to get up with a repair shop to see which one I need to take it to, how long the van's going to be in the shop for, and get this transmission changed in this thing. So I'll give you all an update whenever I find out all that stuff. I don't know, you know, we'll see what the price is going to be. Like I said, now, I think I mentioned earlier, the van itself, it just rolled over 100,000 miles on this trip. I think it's 100,300 some miles, something like that. So as far as everything else, you know, the van it's a good van. Everything works on it. It's perfect. It's everything that, you know, Lindsay and the kids need. As far as DVD players, you know, push button this and that, and, you know, it's a good thing. And we just paid it off last year, so probably put a little bit of money into it, fix transmission, do a little bit of tune up, spark plugs, things like that. Try to get, you know, 2 or 3 more years out of it, and then maybe get her something else after I get my truck paid off. So anyway, I think that's probably about all I'm gonna have on this one. You know, not our normal type of thing, but just wanted to share this incident and this whole scenario that's went on this week of our vacation. So it's definitely been a different one. I'd like to just have another vacation now to go enjoy, but in the end, everything worked out and we're back home. So, and everybody's safe and sound. So that's all that matters. So give us a thumbs up, it helps the channel out, subscribe, and hit that like button. It really helps things keep going with this channel. And then hopefully here in maybe this week sometime, we'll be back on the dump truck, hopefully spreading some paint on that bed. So thanks for watching. Okay, I want to show you guys something else. Yeah, we got the truck took apart right now. So when I went down to North Carolina the other day, picked the van up, all that. When we got ready to leave yesterday morning, pull out from the hotel, I had the trailer and van all hooked up and everything. I got ready to take off, just pull out there, it was like the brake locked up. And it felt like a trailer brake. I stopped, got checked everything looked all right. Backed up, went to take off, it done it twice. And then it freed up, and I never had no problems all the way home. 8 hours, 500 miles, no problem. So when I pulled in the driveway here last night, I got parked, and I set the parking brake, and it didn't hold. So I come out here this morning to adjust the parking brake, and it didn't seem like I was making any headway with it trying to adjust it. And when I rotated around, I could hear something. So I decided to take it apart and look at it. Let's get this thing apart and look here. Right there. The parking brake pads, the shoes, they fell apart on this side. So it's 1,000 wonders that we didn't have an issue coming home with that like fouling up in there and locking the brakes up. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that's really not a big issue. I mean, as far as to replace them, ain't no big deal. I can run to Advanced Auto Parts to get brake pads, but both of them, you can see the lining come off of them. And it was all just laying down here in the bottom, churning the whole time, because when I took this wheel off, there's all kinds of brake dust come out. Well, you can see down on the ground. So just wanted to throw that little tidbit in there. You know, it was just totally unexpected. You know, another thing, I wished I'd you know, this stuff always happens when you're not filming, because I really had no intentions on filming checking this brake on the truck. But you know, this is on F250, and which the 150s and stuff, a lot of trucks are the same. You know, it's got 4-wheel disc brake, but the park brake is actually a drum brake. And to get these drums off sometimes can be really hard. Even just getting the regular rotor off, sometimes they get rusted on there and you can't hardly get them off for anything. And you got to beat on with hammers, stuff like that. I've done that. But if you're not wanting to replace the rotor, you don't want to beat on with a hammer because you end up destroying it. So here's what I done. I took a bolt and put through this hole. You know, this is the hole that holds your caliper bracket on. Just put that bolt through there, put a nut on it. You know, and the rotor was sticking out here. And put the impact gun on this side, wrench on this side, and tightened it up and made a pusher. Pushed it a little bit, backed it off, rounded around a little bit, pushed it again, it popped right off. No problem. I did stick a piece of metal, that's what you seen laying here. I stuck a piece of metal in between the bolt and the rotor surface so it wouldn't mar the surface of the rotor up. So, yeah, guess I'll go pick me up some park brake pads now.